good morning, everyone, and welcome to this third edition of the MFC Technology Action Group meeting. Actually, this meeting will be slightly different from what we are used to, in the sense that we have a special guest, and that is Angelika Notson from Tech to the Rescue.
Hello, can you hear me?
Good morning, Sami. How are you?
Hey, Grzegorz, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Super. Thanks for joining this. I just kicked off the meeting. I hope everyone can hear me. Please let me know via chat if you cannot. I just mentioned that this meeting will be slightly different from our usual Technology Action Group meeting, in the sense that we have a special guest representing Tech to the Rescue, and Angelika Notson is the relationship manager at Tech to the Rescue. We have actually signed a memorandum of understanding with Tech to the Rescue a couple of months ago about cooperation, and we're going to explain what sort of opportunities this cooperation will bring to the MFC members. So one more thing about this meeting being different from the usual Technology Action Group meeting is that I can see more people, more MFC members joining. We have actually decided to open up this meeting to all of MFC members, so not only Technology Action Group people will be here, and I have some communication from the Technology Action Group, but also other MFC members. So great, and this meeting is recorded, and that is for the requirement of MFC sponsor, and that is the European Commission, under whose auspices we are organizing this meeting. And yes, feel free to ask questions. I'm sure there will be many, and Angelika will guide you through the collaboration, what it entails, how to apply, what is Tech to the Rescue, how they work, what is the model of operating, how the selection will be done of the organizations that may benefit from the services of Tech to the Rescue, and all kinds of other details. So please feel free to use the chat function, or we can have a dedicated Q&A session. I think it's really was. You can feel also free to interrupt myself or Angelika. Is it okay, Angelika, to get interrupted every now and then? So if you have any pressing question, feel free to interrupt. Otherwise, we can have a dedicated Q&A session. So with this, I will pass over to Angelika.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the introduction, and welcome everyone. I'm very happy that you decided to join this webinar. And like Mr. Grzegorz mentioned before, my name is Angelika Notson, and I am Nonprofit Relation Manager at Tech to the Rescue. And exactly like Mr. Grzegorz was mentioning, today I will explain to you why we are doing what we are doing, how we are doing that, since when, how you can apply for help, and I will try to share with you all the details possible. These kind of webinars are not something very, it's not our offer that is like ordinary and we just propose it to everyone, but we proposed it to Microfinance Center because they are our referral partners. So we have a bit closer relationship, and thanks to that, we can organize some special offers for the network partners. So that's why we are meeting today. And I'm very happy and very thankful for this occasion. And I hope, yes, you will have a lot of questions. And as everything I will present so clear that everything will be just like, leading you to just submit the project and join the community of change makers. But to start from the beginning, Tech to the Rescue, who we are. In a nutshell, we are a global platform that is connecting non-profits from all over the world that have some technological need with tech companies that are ready to implement these solutions on a pro bono, low bono level. And now I will move a bit to the history, which is not that long, so I hope I will not bore you too much. But yes, we started working 3 years ago. It all started in Poland, and it was in response to the COVID crisis. And it was really focused on the health organizations, on actually responding to the crisis that emerged back then. But very quickly, we grew. Mostly we grew because of the war in Ukraine and because we launched the campaign Tech for Ukraine. And in the response of this campaign, 600 companies, tech companies, joined us in this movement to actually help Ukrainian organizations. But that's not all. Like if you see here, just a year after March 2020, our funding partners joined us and we set up the foundation. So that's why we, as Tech to the Rescue, we can work as a foundation, and we are non-profit ourselves, which I will immediately explain to you. That's why we don't add additional fees or any fees for our services, for matching, for actually putting you in this process of being matched with great tech partners. We are doing it because we want to lead to some systemic change that I will say later a bit more. But yeah, that's how we are working. And since these 3 years, when it comes to numbers, but maybe numbers a bit later, when I was mentioning these funding partners, this is also not what it's this information is of course available, but on our individual meetings we don't have time to mention that. But yeah, we have this 17 funding partners. They're the tech companies, mostly based in Poland, but we were also granted Google grant and Google fellows, which means that the Google team joined us for more than 6 months, and they were working with us on creating Tech to the Rescue to the best possible levels. So this is how we were trusted. We are still being prolonged with the cooperation, and this is how we are supported with a big scale with tech companies, with tech advisors. Like I am from the side of the non-profit team, so I'm a bit, of course, I am technological, but a bit less than our matching team, which is really these people are really, you know, tech crazy. Everyone is fascinated by AI here, and it's like really supported by the knowledge, by the tech itself. So we are really connecting these two worlds, and we have expertise in both of these two worlds. And as I was mentioning a bit about this climate, these campaigns, we had COVID response campaign, we had Tech for Ukraine campaign, and we had Tech for Climate campaign. We are responding to the crises as well as doing our individual daily work with nonprofits that come to us on a daily basis. So thanks to this campaign, we are also able at Tech to the Rescue also to react to these changes that are all the time emerging all over the world, and we are trying to respond to the crises, to the needs that are emerging in different countries. So this all, as I mentioned, started from the COVID response, then Tech for Ukraine, which was a huge campaign, and it was actually huge from our side. It didn't require that much work, you know, just like launching campaign, promoting it. But I have to say, like I mentioned before, that the response from the tech side was insane. 600 companies, the nonprofits also started coming. We matched really very valuable projects, and we saw that this crisis response has really, really big sense. And Tech for Climate, it's our another campaign. It's also ongoing campaign, so we are still supporting climate as well as we are supporting all the sustainable development goals. So if you are working in the areas of sustainable development goals, these are the areas that we are supporting, the social impact areas, the change makers that are trying actually to make some change in the world. Yeah, I was mentioning also about this systemic change because, of course, we are supporting nonprofits to actually scale up their activities, to make it able for them to help better, to actually take maybe even some time out of their employees and be better focused on providing help, not only humanitarian help, but also long-term help, any kind of that is connected with SDGs, as I was mentioning. But we are also thinking long-term. So for this long-term goal, we really want to create the systemic change that for the tech world, that they can, of course, provide financial support, that they have the budgets, obviously, but they have one of the most valuable things that there is. They have skilled people who are able to implement solutions. For many nonprofits, it can be drive changing, really. Like they still are sitting in Excel sheets, but they can get the CRM system and totally change the way of working. And we want to create this systematic change that the tech companies, they know it's this kind of pledge, it's this kind of offer that they could provide just on normal basis. So this is what we are really driven by this long-term goal, and we really hope to achieve it in the future. And as I was mentioning, for the numbers, just a few numbers to sum up what we did in these 3 years. So for the tech side, for the tech companies that pledged their readiness to implement these solutions is more than 1,400 tech partners. It's a big number, of course, that's why I'm showcasing this, but the number is big because also nonprofits come to us with different ideas and with different needs for solutions. I will mention this later, but it's really from cybersecurity, simple websites to platforms, applications, and the availability of these tech companies is also different. So that's why we have so many of them, so we can always be able to find a proper match. I have to add here that our success rate, we wish it would be 100%, to be always able and possible to make a match, but it's around 70%. Sometimes it's really just a matter of time and availability of a specific company, but I still think that almost 70%, it's really good, successful rate for the matching. When it comes to nonprofits, as you can see, it's more than 900 nonprofits from 70 countries from all over the world. So this is for this site, more than 500 projects matched, and this estimated human lives that were supported is just 5 million, but it's really this estimation that we can allow ourselves to just show. But the final number, yeah, I think we can only assume that.
And Agnieszka, sorry to interrupt, did you work with any microfinance, microcredit, microfinance organizations?
Actually, Microfinance Center is the first one, and I think I know why you're asking, because I'm saying that we are really collaborating with nonprofits. We were actually collaborating in Turkey. It was they were social entrepreneurs, and just exactly to tell you, like, I know you are also kind of like social entrepreneurs, the microfinance, you are the startups. We are supporting this kind of organizations, but what's important here that you have a social impact, that you are working in SDG, that you are actually wanting to make some social impact, social change, and this we could support, even if you redirect money again to yourself, to development of your organization. But what's important here is this social case, this development goals. So yeah.
Okay, I asked this question because, of course, for microfinance institutions, the issue will be how to define a not-for-profit organization, and we actually spent time with Agnieszka. I explained, just that the legal form of microfinance institutions is very often determined by the regulation, but what we concluded is that as long as a microfinance institution works as a social enterprise, and that is, as Agnieszka mentioned, reinvests its profits into the organization, then Tech to the Rescue would have no problem finding a match, technological match, and support for such an organization. So for purely commercial, this will not be an option, but for the ones that work as social enterprise, yes, definitely.
Yes,
but we'll come to that, because MFC will actually have a role in verifying the not-for-profit status, and Tech to the Rescue will rely on that. Okay, thanks. Sorry about this interruption.
No, it was actually a very good question, so thank you for that. Yes, it's important to explain at the beginning, so thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just from the numbers, from our 3 years of history of Tech to the Rescue, I think I will go to most important thing, at least for you, for potential partners at Tech to the Rescue. How does it work? So from the nonprofit, from the organization, social enterprises side, first of all, you have to register on our website. This we need for the basic contact information, for the GDPR, and actually exactly to verify. If you are not maybe just a profit company, or if you don't have legal status, then we will not be able to collaborate with you. But if only you have some legal identity and you can prove that you have this social impact, you are the social entrepreneur, or like any kind of organization that is actually involved in SDGs, then it's totally fine. And later, in the next step, you will receive an email confirming that you are accepted, that you were positively verified. Then you will receive a link to the project submission form. And this is the whole magic here. This is how you have to, in the best possible way, submit your project, describe everything. But I will move later to this point, because it's actually the crucial point of the whole project, because based on that, we will be able to match you with tech partner. And this is very important to submit the project in the best possible way. And from the tech companies, how does it look like? Basically, if you, let's say you already submitted the project and it lands in our database. Tech companies have access to our database, so they can browse like based on their specific specialization or availability. It's up to them. But we also do it the other side. So our matching managers are reaching out to these tech partners manually. They know these companies. They know maybe exactly now is the time to have few projects for them. Maybe they did work on similar projects before. So they do it also more manually. So it goes these two directions. And when it comes to steps, exactly like I was saying with this submission form, what is the most important is that you exactly know what you are asking for. It's that you have the scope, you have the need, because sometimes we have the nonprofits that come to Tech to the Rescue. They are saying that technology is great. They want to catch up, find something. This is not how we help. We help nonprofits that already have an idea. And I always say they don't need to use IT language to describe it all. They really don't need to go so much into detail when it comes to IT jargon or something like that. But they really need to know what they need, what's the scope, what will be the details, what they are counting on. So later, it's easier for the tech partner to actually see this project and know exactly what they will be working on. So this is the most important question to actually answer. And I would also add to this first point, the second thing is to show the impact of the solution. In the submission form, you will have a lot of questions about the impact on your organization, employees, volunteers, beneficiaries. It's very important to use this storytelling a bit, because these tech companies, of course, they do a good thing, but they like to know, they like to read that the solution that they will implement will actually have an effect. So this is very important. I would say there's very good scoping of the need and showing the impact that it will have on the organization.
And is there like a one standard form to fill out, or just how do you go with this initial step? Do you have like a standard form?
Yes, this form you will receive in this email after registration.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can add only here that sometimes it lands in the spam folder. So we have sometimes organizations like, catching up. I'm always saying to check the spam folder. So first you register, then you receive the email, and there you have this form I'm talking about.
Okay.
This form is like around 5 pages, 6-7 questions per page. It takes 1 to 2 hours to fill it. And all these questions will be exactly about the scope of the project and the impact.
Okay.
So this is how it looked like. When it comes also, let's say you've submitted it, it landed in our database, and then matching managers are taking over. This is this fourth point already. Matching managers are people a bit more technological than me, and they will verify the project when it comes exactly to these technical details. If something is missing in your project, it has great potential, but you didn't include some important technological information, they will come back to you. We do not reject projects only because they miss little thing. We see the social impact that is potentially there, so we want to work on that, and the matching manager will come back to such a nonprofit and try to verify and add some missing fields. Let's say all is done there, you land in our database, and when it comes to time, it takes from 2 weeks until 2 months that we will find you the first potential technological partner. 2 weeks, it's super optimistic scenario, but it happens. Recently, it happened with UNICEF Ukraine. They were really quickly matched. So I always just showcase that because it is some percentage of quick matches. Until 2 months, I said. If the project is with us for 2 months and longer, we know it has lower chances to be matched. Then the matching managers again coming back to the nonprofit and trying maybe to redesign the project, maybe make it just a bit more attractive, maybe using technology but in a bit different way, just to put it a bit higher again in the database. So this is when it comes to the timeline. And one more important thing, it's this last step that we will also facilitate the first meeting between you, potential tech partner, and Tech to the Rescue. And at this meeting, you confirm your collaboration, the scope of the project. If you need, maybe you are working with sensitive data, maybe you need NDA, MOU, contract, everything can be implemented. Every collaboration is very particular, so all your needs should be covered. Same for the tech partner, that they know what they are working on. let's say this meeting went great, then you are going together to this journey with tech partner and you are working on it together. Of course, they are working, but you should have the project manager or the team devoted to communication with tech partner. If something goes wrong there, if there is some kind of ghosting on communication doesn't go well, it doesn't happen that often, but it can, you can always come back to the matching manager. Like Tech to the Rescue is just not, you know, throwing you and leaving. If something is not going right there, we will always come back and support you again. Yes, and this is pretty crucial thing, what nonprofits can apply for. I heard that you are technological people yourselves. So I think you even know more about these technologies than me, but it's for a lot of nonprofits, it's very important to scope the exact software solutions. So this is whole list of like most often brought needs to us. So they are most often covered by our tech partners. And of course, it's not the whole list because everything what's software-based, even more creative, can be covered. We have companies that are willing to do simple websites, just some audits, exactly UX, some simple, I don't know if applications are simple, but some simple projects. But we also have companies that are willing to do more creative, more challenging stuff. We had hackathon driven by AI. So we also have these projects that are a bit more, yeah, they're just a bit more interesting for the company. So I always say for the nonprofits, don't be scared to ask for bigger projects. Just be aware that you should have a team that can exactly devote their time and can communicate with the partner. So you really are in this journey together with technological partner. Examples of projects. Here, I also always recommend to just visit our case studies on our website because you will find plenty of them. Here, I just wanted to showcase you a few. There are from different nonprofits. One is from Poland, some from Ukraine. There are different tools, different applications, different topics as well. It's not that we chose only one area, let's say humanitarian aid, and we are focusing on that. No, everything what is with social impact we can support, our tech partners can support. So this is just this examples of projects, but we have just plenty more, and I always redirect to our case studies page because you can also get inspired there and read a bit longer stories of these projects that were matched. And some of our members, as I was mentioning, Microfinance Center is our referral partner, but we have also different referral partners, or also partners just for our mission. And here I just mentioned few, but we have almost 50 referral partners, which means that in plenty of countries, we have umbrella organizations that are also referring their organizations to Tech to the Rescue. We have, as I said, we have more than 1,400 tech partners ready to implement solutions. And we are still actively scouting for nonprofits that could scale up their activities because we just see a huge gap there. There are nonprofits, there are social enterprises that are just lacking technologies, and they have great people on board, but they cannot actually scale up their activities. What they miss is technology. But very often the budgets for technology are, you know, always the lowest or the least in the lowest in the hierarchy. So that's why we are here, and that's why we are trying to create the systematic change for actually tech companies to use their people. On the other side, when it comes to tech companies, here, of course, we mentioned some of the biggest. I think they are all well-known brands, especially for people who are in tech. But yeah, from this 1,400, we have partners from all over the world. Definitely not only Polish. That's why our communication language is English, so we can really acquire partners from all over the world, from Europe, from US, everywhere you can think of. This 1,400 partners are coming from, and that's why we are still also expanding, because we want to have just bigger availability and in the effect also bigger successful matching rates than 70%. Hopefully one day it will go even to 90. Yeah, and if you have, of course, now I think it will be great to start Q&A session, but I am the contact person for the non-profits, for the social enterprises, for the organizations that want to apply for help for the solution. We have different team, which is matching team. They are people who are connected with tech companies. So we always have these two words on our website. You can also find the contact points for these both words and contact with us as nonprofit and as tech partner. So we are just making this collaboration possible because between these two words that maybe normally wouldn't meet. This for my presentation, that would be it.
Okay,
But I'm full of questions.
Thank you, Angelica. I'm sure there are questions. What do you think, guys? Do you think this type of collaboration and this type of resource will be useful to you? Would you have any questions to Agnieszka about the application process, about the issues of selections, whether you qualify or not, just about the amount of resources that can be devoted to this? So question time. Please go ahead.
If you feel more comfortable writing on the chat, it's also fine.
Yeah. Or you can just show your face and ask a question.
Hi, this is Andre.
Hi, Andre.
I'm with HAS FinTech. Thank you for the presentation. Just a quick question. Is it possible to review various projects that you have available, nonprofits that provide this kind of project ideas without the process of registration? Or do you have to go through the whole step before you get to see? In other words, just to kind of get a flavor of what kind of projects are out there. The reason I'm asking, because we operate in a kind of fintech space, providing technology to financial institutions, but big part of our competency is artificial intelligence and machine learning. And there are different use cases for that. And I think it would be quite interesting for us to collaborate with somebody who has a need to work with data. It could be anything, improving your marketing campaigns for nonprofits. It could be any number of use cases where you basically leverage data that you have to kind of, to make better decisions about whatever you need to do. But just a technical question, is it just possible to see kind of to have a view, just a quick glance of the projects that are out there right now without going through, all the steps of registration and stuff?
Thank you for this question. Well, actually, when it comes to our database and the projects that landed in the database, it's only for the tech to the rescue. We don't share it with other nonprofits. So it's because of the GDPR. So this is like not visible for other organizations. What I can do always, like for this personal questions for like exactly themed projects that were submitted before, for example, AI, I can share with you some titles and organization who submitted that. That's for sure, like title of the project, which already explains the need of the project. So this I can share. But also we made this hackathon a few months ago. It was AI for Good hackathon. This is fully available, and there are also the companies and the challenges that were covered and the solutions that were built. This I can also share. And just to answer your question, you cannot see our database with the projects that were submitted because it's really for tech to the rescue. It's like this private foundation thing. But if you really need this themed projects, like exactly connected with AI, machine learning, I can share with you the projects that were submitted, but just for the titles and for the areas. That would be my answer.
And no, this would be fine. Thank you. This is exactly what I wanted to hear, because this way we can kind of quickly get a sense of what the range of those projects are and whether it really makes sense to kind of dive deeper into this. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I will just maybe share later my email, and you can just write to me with this question and any other.
Yeah, maybe Angelica, you can add your email to the chat function so that all the people have access to it.
Excellent.
Thank you for this question, Andrea. Are there any more questions? I was just thinking that perhaps the practitioners who are here may have in mind a specific technological idea that they are playing with or they have developed, and they want to check whether this would be whether it would be an idea that could be then passed on to tech to the rescue and then to the technological partners. So feel free to share. I can see that Agnieszka has already shared her email address, and Agnieszka, sorry, Angelica, And Angelica, if you could say, just if there is a match with the company, is there a limit to the resources? Just to the length of the support assignment, or to the to the amount resources that are committed through this partnership. What is the experience?
There's actually no limit also for the nonprofit that comes to us with their technological needs. So for example, you can once apply with a website, then another one time with application. So there's no limit here. But I always say, like, it is possible that if at the same time you submit 2 projects, you will be successfully matched with 2 different companies, and you need to be aware that you have to collaborate with both of them at the same time. So I always just tell to submit the prioritized project and then see how it goes, and later on come back to Tech to the Rescue and then submit again. Our tech partners, they pledged different availability for projects. Some are having just a few per year, some 1 per month. It really depends on every tech partner. And when it comes to the size of projects, as I was saying also, like, sometimes it's easier to match the simple website or, like, upgrading something, but sometimes there's some application for exactly like we had with UNICEF Ukraine. It was application to monitor the water tracking after they exploded the dam, and it was matched in 2 weeks. Probably the UNICEF brand worked there. Everyone wants to do something for UNICEF, but it doesn't also depend on the big name, because we have organizations like from very, very small ones, from very local ones to the big partners. But here I also wouldn't say that it's the main factor for the tech partners to actually choose the project. I think what's the most important here is that they choose it according to their specialization and people they have. So this would be the main factor. All the projects are good. So with this,
Super. And I wonder whether the application process is clear to everyone. Does everyone know what to do and how to do? Can we maybe repeat that there's this initial email, and then you get a confirmation and the application form that you need to fill out, right?
First is the registration on our website, few minutes, really. It's just basic information about your organization.
Okay.
So first the registration, and then you will receive email. And in this email, you will have a link to project submission form. You click on that and you have whole form, and then you just submit it. That's all. That's basically these 2 steps.
Okay, super. Okay. So maybe a quick maybe question. Pavel, do you want to ask a question?
Yes, hello, Angelica. It's Pavel from MFC. Maybe, while our participants are thinking about the question, and I would really encourage, especially, our members, MFIs, who are in the process or are thinking of any project within the area Angelica has been explaining about. You have, I think, great opportunity to check right away whether, your ideas or plans would be something which could be matched here. So I really encourage you to check now. Maybe, Angelica, you could tell us what makes the issue in terms of matching, because you are saying that 70% of demands have been matched while 30% are not. So maybe you could explain a little bit about this mismatch. What makes the project difficult?
Sure. Thank you for this question. It's a very tricky question, and the answer will be also like, it depends. Like I was mentioning, sometimes we have really great project. We see the potential, like, I don't know, it's some application to be built, like in the area of supporting animals. Let's say great cause, great project, greatly written. But sometimes, let's say our tech partners are already busy with other projects. They are not available for this time. Very often it's just like, it's a matter of wrong timing. Because what was also before, like some time ago in Tech to the Rescue, the projects were sometimes skipping the impact fields, like the nonprofits that were submitting. And now we are really working on this from the first steps, that the nonprofit that is submitting the project, that they already explain the impact. So from the nonprofit side, everything is done well, the scope and the impact, as I was mentioning. So really, if you have both of these things, if our matching manager also accepted the project, it means it's good. It means it has potential. But then it's really just on the tech side that sometimes some factors are like exactly like timing, or they are already busy with other, and it's just like just the matter of this, not coincidence, I would say, but just like the bad luck, maybe the bad time. So this, I would say, it's just the most often case when the projects are not matched. From the past, maybe it was more often that the projects themselves were not scoped when it comes to impact too well. But we are fighting with it, so we are coming back to the nonprofits. I come back, my colleagues are coming back, and we are literally asking to fill all the fields, because impact is important there, the scoping is important there. So we really cover this thing that from the nonprofit side, everything is done well. But then sometimes the tech sides, just the wrong timing, I would say, unfortunately.
So,
Okay, thank you. Maybe one more question from myself, if we have no other questions yet.
yeah,
I
please
have
go
one
ahead.
question.
Good.
Yeah, so thank you, Angelica.
Please introduce yourself. Please introduce.
Linas Armalys
Linas,
from
super.
yeah,
Very good.
Linas Armalys from Novity Finance. My question is this: so basically, it is very much for non-profits. If a company is just regular one for profits, then the only option is that it is matching that other side, which is about the development of some tech. Yeah, in our case, it's probably the financial tech, which might be of use in this particular situation. Am I correct in this case?
Well, yeah, this is what Tech to the Rescue, we are supporting the change makers. If we were supporting normal companies, then it would be just company doing something for company pro bono. It would not make sense. So yeah, we are. That's why. Yeah.
So I'm just, so in that case, I'm wondering, okay, if we are a regular company which has some tech capabilities, especially in financial area, then okay, so then in that case, it might be from that angle that we might, for example, to support some kind of initiative which we think that is important. For example, it might be, in finance area, like to provide financing for some particular segments which are very underserved and etc. Yeah. Do I understand that it is fully social projects, that it's in a way that your tech companies are actually contributing their resources for the benefit of, in general, of the social impact? Yes, am I right?
Exactly like you are saying.
I got it. Okay. Okay.
But Linas, if I could interrupt, I mentioned at the beginning that we had a before we signed the MOU, we had a pretty long discussion about just how to treat microfinance, since very often institutions have purely commercial status that is required by the law, like for instance in Romania or in some other countries, but they still just are microfinance programs that have a just very concrete social mission and very significant impact. And Angelica confirmed that if we actually just confirm this sort of a social enterprise type of a status, then there will be no problem for
this partnership. Yeah. Okay, yes. I got it. So it should be that the project, even of a regular company, but in general, if it is very much social one and it is recognized as a social one, then it is a good area for cooperation.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I can give you an example here. Like we had, it was an organization that was supporting the promoting of vegetarianism, something like that. And they also had a shop. But in this shop, of course, they were making profit. They were selling some things, but it was also coming back to their company, the social enterprise. So this we also supported, because in general they were supporting some good social case. They were having this project. So even though they had this little shop that they were making profit on, the whole case was really with the social impact.
I got it. Clear. Thank you very much. That's very useful thing. And
so it's important that the majority of microfinance institutions would actually qualify, and MFC will have a role in verifying this status. So unless someone is a purely commercial profits go to shareholders, then probably not. But if profits are reinvested, it's even if a microfinance institution is registered as a company, then it should be no problem for.
It should no problem. I got it. Yeah. So for me that was important to understand, because lots of institutions which are currently in this meeting are exactly working in an area which is socially very important one, but very frequently their official statuses will not be NGOs.
Absolutely. Yes. This we clarified before we signed the MOU. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense for our network. Yeah. good question, and thanks for that.
Thank you.
But it's interesting that through this meeting that was supposed to be only about finding a match for a technological company, we already have two potential candidates to be actually on the technological side, which I think also is a great outcome. Good. I wonder if there are any other questions. Maybe I was thinking, since the 20 people, if you could indicate in the chat function whether you would be interested in the services of Tech to the Rescue. If you could say maybe yes, if you are interested, no, if you're not interested, and I don't know if you don't know yet, that would give us some kind of indication whether there is interest at all. So if you could just add yes if you are interested, no if you are not interested, and I don't know if you don't know. I think we have two more questions, so I'll give priority to Penka. Penka, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. You can hear me, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I'm representing an NGO from Bulgaria, Because Foundation. And I really thank you. It was a great and interesting topic, and important for us also. Just a few words to tell you what we are doing. We are quite an old organization, infrastructure, helping and developing the philanthropic culture in Bulgaria from one side, so all about giving, donating, and on the other side, supporting startups and social entrepreneurs. So, from the one side, of course, I'll be more than happy to distribute this information to all the hundreds of people that we've been working with, and can be of interest. Well, I'm sure for most of them, as Angelica, as you said, it's an interesting and very free of charge option. But I was wondering, I have a question about ourselves, and because we have some kind of complex projects that would need quite a substantial support and interference, engagement from a high-tech company. For example, we have a platform for online giving, which is kind of getting huge. We had it for a few years, and we really need that to take it to the next steps. It's used from different people, individuals now, and companies to support. So my question is, to what extent a project can be a complex one, and to what extent the duration of the partner, if matched, can be sustained for a longer period, because this tech thing, it will need maintenance and further development, I would say, without being a tech person myself. So what about these more complex solutions that can be needed, not the simple website projects or something like online shop or something? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. It's actually very interesting that you are mentioning that, and you are from Bulgaria, because before our webinar, I had a meeting with Bulgarian food warehouses, food bank, and they were exactly bringing the same case like you. They were like, we need new warehouse system management, but also later we need someone to maintain that. And thankfully with them, what we can do for them, we can match them to build the system, obviously, and it can be pro bono. But the owner, he also mentioned, we have some budget for the maintenance, and we would like to be in longer relationship with this tech partner that built it for us, that implemented that. And I said, especially when you have some budget for that later, there is no problem. The relationship that you have with the tech partner that we matched you with, it also depends on you, how long you're gonna stay in that. If you also have budget later for these people, be like, hey, you implemented that, can you also maintain it? We have some maybe low bono, maybe some lower rates, but we can actually give it to you for maintenance work. It definitely works. We had many times this kind of issue, exactly like you say, these cases. Implementation is not everything, because they can implement and you can have a gadget that no one will be able to use. And it's important exactly to maintain this relationship with the tech partner. And I would say, like, having some low budget, even some lower prices for them, but still it's definitely working, and
will
it's
help.
something that, yeah, that could be
okay. But otherwise, no problem for those more complex tasks or projects.
No.
Okay.
Actually, this is also very interesting. Like a lot of nonprofits, they are not aware of the cost of, for example, platform or application. But recently we had a match. It was successful. Just Tech Partner said it will cost $200,000, but we will do it. So also the complex projects, yes, they are possible. We also need to work on the awareness from the nonprofit side. So you are really receiving some great tool, but this is no problem with a bit more complex. And I also didn't mention that if you already have some solution, you have some tool, but you want to develop it, it's also possible. We have this option. Of course, they can build from the scratch, like really tailor-made, but if you already have something, they can also develop. And we have two more options. You can apply for discovery session. So for example, you know what kind of technology you would like to use, but you don't know exactly how to grasp it. You can apply for discovery session. We will match you exactly with tech company that will have workshops with your team. And you together will go to the conclusion what kind of solution you actually need. And there's third option, you're welcome. Third option is external advisor. Let's say you are already working nonprofit, working organization, social enterprise, and you are not using fully the potential of, I don't know, CRM system that you have, or you don't use fully the cybersecurity that you're supposed to have. You can also apply for the external advisor. So this is an advisor from the tech company that will have a look on what you have in your nonprofit, in your organization, and will advise you what to change, how to fix it, maybe later in the further projects, and how to actually use its potential.
Great, thank you so much. We'll be in touch.
That's amazing.
So that's super because thank you, Danka, for the question, and Angelika for clarifications. But two more options. You can actually ask for helping you fine-tuning your idea. So even if your idea is relatively vague, you can have a dedicated session to this particular idea with the match with your IT technological partner match, and have it well developed. So that's one thing, and the other option is you can have a longer time advisor. So it's also an important option. I think some of the people in this meeting may be a little bit discouraged that we keep talking about NGOs, and we do not give examples from the financial side, but as Agnieszka and Angelika, sorry, I keep confusing your name. Angelika mentioned, it's the first encounter of Tech to the Rescue with microfinance and the finance world, but on the technological company side, I think there are no problems, no obstacle, and there may be a lot of excitement actually to work with microfinance institutions. So please don't get discouraged by the fact that we don't have yet examples of collaboration with microfinance organizations. Pavel, did you have?
Yes, we have actually question from Elizaveta from Kazakhstan.
Okay.
If your projects are somehow limited to certain regions, or you are open to cooperate worldwide with our members?
Worldwide, global, yes. Kazakhstan, yes. We even have dedicated person for this area, so for sure.
Okay, super.
Super, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great. Good. Any more questions? No one responded to my request for a questionnaire. Can I ask at least maybe people that are interested to say just write yes in the chat function, just to see if there is interest in this collaboration. I think there is, judging from the interactivity, or maybe if you're still not sure, please feel free to contact either me or Pavel or Angelika. We're happy to ask your question. I know that many of MFC members actually have very concrete ideas of how they want to move forward. So I think there's nothing that should prevent you from registering on the Tech to the Rescue website and responding to the application form, filling out the application form.
Exactly. And you can always send me an email. And if you also want some individual meeting, we can have just like meeting between like Tech to the Rescue and nonprofit and just talk about your ideas. It's also totally fine. Like I can provide my Calendly in the email and we can meet up for like more detailed discussion.
Okay, super. Very good. So with this, if there are no any other questions, I wanted to sincerely thank Angelica for a nice and interactive and very smiley presentation. Thank you for that. Thank you, Pavel, for your support, and Maria also for your support, and thank you all for participating in this meeting. Stay tuned for more meetings of the Technology Action Group. We are working on the question that the members of the Technology Action Group suggested. Coming up with, will be some communication on that with you, and we'll have a dedicated session in December. So thank you very much, and goodbye.